Welcome back, focused learners. Today, in this explainer, we are unlocking an absolute superpower. Have you ever stared blankly at a page, just wishing you could magically download the ideas from your brain into a fully formatted book? Well, today, we're going to make that happen. I'm giving you the exact step-by-step playbook to go from zero ideas to a polished, finished book, all by teaming up with AI.
Right off the bat, let's crush a massive myth. You might be thinking, don't I need to know how to code to use AI? Or do I need a computer science degree or some crazy expensive tech boot camp? No, absolutely not. And to prove it, we're drawing from a really fascinating practical guide by an author who literally wrote over 12 books, with 3 more on the way, just by having a chat. And get this, some of those drafts were finished in just 2 hours.
So the ultimate takeaway here is incredibly empowering. Your ability to communicate is literally the only skill you need. You don't need to know Python. You don't need to understand machine learning. You are the director. You're the visionary. The AI is simply your tireless, lightning-fast co-writer just sitting there waiting for your instructions.
All right, here's our roadmap for this explainer. First up, we'll meet your AI co-writers. Second, we'll dive into the art of prompting. Third, planning and drafting your book. And finally, a super important step, beating AI hallucinations.
Okay, part 1. Meet your AI co-writers. It's time to build your roster. The absolute biggest mistake beginners make is thinking there's just one perfect AI that does everything. In reality, you've got a whole diverse roster of specialists. Let's look at the heavy hitters. You probably know this first one well. ChatGPT is your absolute go-to for natural, smooth language. So when you need clear drafting, elegant phrasing, or just a beautifully written narrative chapter, this is the co-writer you tag into the ring.
But what if you're writing nonfiction and you need hard, undeniable facts? Well, enter Perplexity. You should really think of Perplexity as your real-time research assistant. It excels at searching the live internet and, crucially, linking directly to its original sources. This makes it incredibly powerful for gathering accurate information really quickly.
Think about your entire dream team for a second. Look at how specialized they all are. Claude is fantastic for long, continuous contexts and complex nuances. Gemini taps right into real-time Google data. Need something a bit witty or relaxed? Grok is your sarcastic friend. DeepSeek handles all the tricky technical logic, and of course we already know Perplexity is your master researcher. The beauty here is you don't have to choose just one. You just assign the right AI to the right task.
Moving right along to Section 2, the art of prompting. This is your secret vocabulary. You've probably heard that old computing rule, right? Garbage in equals garbage out. Well, it is so true here. If your instructions are vague, your book is going to be vague. Every single great prompt must clearly define 3 things: the context, who are you and what's the background; the objective, what exactly do you want the AI to achieve; and the format. Do you want a bulleted list, a dramatic paragraph, or maybe a structured table? Master this trio, and I promise you master AI.
Let's get into some specific techniques that the pros use. First up is role prompting. This is where you literally inject a professional persona into the AI. You don't just ask it to write something, you tell it exactly who to be. Doing this instantly elevates the quality and depth of the output.
Listen to this exact example from our source material. Instead of just saying, hey, write about learning, you prompt it like this. Act as a senior trainer expert in experiential learning who has an educational psychology background. By setting up that highly specific role, the AI instantly shifts gears from generic internet text to targeted, professional-grade insights. It's a total game changer.
Next, we have style prompting. This one is so much fun because it allows you to completely alter the voice of your book with just a single sentence. You can command the AI to rewrite a super boring academic paragraph into a satirical essay, a casual Gen Z blog post, or even a highly metaphoric story.
It is absolutely wild how the exact same information transforms based on your command. Think about a plain narrative style explaining public service versus a rhetorical style. Suddenly, the rhetorical version is asking these provocative questions like, how can we claim to be a developed nation if public services are still convoluted? The underlying facts are identical, but that simple style prompt completely changes the emotional impact.
All right, Section 3, planning and drafting your book. Let's look at the blueprint.
Now we're in the execution phase, actually building your book from scratch. Think of this as your macro workflow. First, ideation. Bounce rough ideas around with the AI to find your unique angle. Second, formatting. Tell the AI your target page count and style so it understands the scope of the project. Third, outlining. Ask it to generate a solid chapter-by-chapter skeleton. And finally, drafting, where you iteratively flesh out those chapters paragraph by paragraph. When you actually hit that drafting phase, structured prompting becomes your absolute best friend. This essentially forces the AI to output content systematically, which ensures your chapters actually have a consistent flow, rather than just spitting out a giant, unreadable wall of text. Imagine you have this incredibly messy transcript of brainstorming notes. You feed it to the AI with a prompt like, "From this interview script, create a table with 5 columns. Respondent name, age, argument, pros and cons." Just like that, total chaos is transformed into a perfect organized foundation for your next chapter. It is so efficiently brilliant.
Okay, Section 4, Beating AI Hallucinations. It is time for a reality check.
Because, look, before we go printing a million copies of your book, we need to talk about the biggest pitfall for authors, AI hallucination. AI models are designed to be helpful, honestly, sometimes to a fault. If they can't find the real data or that specific academic reference you asked for, they will confidently invent fake ones just to please you. I mean, they will generate highly realistic-sounding book titles and author names that simply do not exist.
There is actually a documented danger zone for this, based on survey data from our source material. Knowing this gives you a very concrete framework for which AI to trust with your hard data, and which ones are going to require some heavy double-checking on your part.
When you break it down, Perplexity is by far the most cautious with facts, making it your safest bet for research. Claude and Gemini, they sit right in the middle, but you really have to watch out for ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and Grok. They are ranked at the absolute highest risk for hallucinating data. Seriously, do not blindly trust them with your footnotes. So how do we combat this? To ensure your book is fully credible, you absolutely must independently verify your facts. Please don't rely on standard AI for peer-reviewed truth. Instead, use specialized, academically focused tools and databases, things like Elicit, SciSpace, Consensus, or even just good old Google Scholar. Always cross-reference the AI's claims with these trusted engines. And there you have it, folks. You now possess the complete, non-technical playbook. You know exactly how to assemble your AI team, craft the perfect prompt using role and style, build a structured draft, and rigorously fact-check your final manuscript. So I want to leave you with this final, exciting thought to hopefully spark some immediate creative action. With all these incredibly powerful co-writers just waiting for your instructions, what is your first book going to be about? Start talking, start writing, and we'll see you next time.